If you didn't think I was crazy already, you're about to. So I introduced meats yesterday, and today's topic is liver. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the benefits of organ meats, liver specifically, and how our family consumes it regularly. Now, just a few years ago, I would never have thought that I would be eating liver pretty much daily, but now I do. So I'm going to sit down here, hopefully it's not going to be too wet, and tell you a little bit about liver. Okay, never mind, it's wet. I'm going to go back over here. So as you may or may not know, consuming organ meats is pretty common in other cultures, and it even used to be here in the United States as well. And there's a ton of health benefits for it. Some of the most common organ meats that people consume are the liver, kidneys, the marrow, which is the stuff inside the bones, as you may have heard about before, the brain, and from the Healthy for Life, they also mentioned chitterlings. I don't know what chitterlings are. But a lot of times, especially in the past, these were really prized organs and prized things to consume because they're so dense in nutrients. For example, they're rich in iron, phosphorus, zinc, vitamins A, D, B6, B12, and special fats for the brain. So for today's video, I went ahead and grabbed my Nourishing Traditions book because I thought that it was in here that I read something interesting about organ meats, and I couldn't find it. But recently I read that when an animal, like when a lion goes hunting and it makes a kill, the first thing that it goes for, the dead animal, is the liver. And they do mention that in some other, especially some African countries, it's very common for mothers to chew up liver and give it to their babies raw. They mention in here one tribe in particular in Sudan along the Nile, the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, and they consume liver regularly. They think it's a prized food, and the women are a lot of them are over 6 feet tall. Some of the men top 7.5 feet. A lot of them are over 7 feet tall. So that's pretty amazing. And just recently, Amy Mahali at Be Well Clinic posted a link to the Weston A. Price website where they talk about liver and where they talk about eating liver raw. So again, I'm probably already grossing you out just with the idea of liver, but that's how our family consumes it half the time. And so this article talks all about why that's good. I think a big part of it is simply the fact that when you cook meat, it destroys a lot of the nutrients. Our family consumes liver just about daily. I try to do it daily. Sometimes I get into a rhythm of it, and then sometimes I just kind of get out of the rhythm for a while. But there's two ways that we do it. The first way is a little bit more recent, and that is to consume a lot more liver pate. So there's a recipe, I think we did the one in Nourishing Traditions, or a mix of two recipes, but it's basically lightly cooked liver with a whole bunch of butter and some herbs, and then we just put that on some Ritz crackers. So the Ritz crackers would be the part of this, obviously, that's the least helpful to our bodies, least nutritious, but it definitely makes it a lot more palatable than like liver and onions, which I don't really care for. The other way that we consume liver is raw. So we just take a little packet, I freeze packets in about 2 ounces each, and I cut it up into dice it up into small pieces. Well, everybody except for Jared, he sometimes does it, but he's not quite on board with this yet. But we just put some juice in our mouths and then just put a small piece of the liver in our mouths and just swallow it. We don't taste it at all. There's no chewing involved. So now that I've severely grossed you out, I hope you'll try liver someday. Or day 10 complete, and we'll see you tomorrow.